even politicians, pastors, the leaders of our society, if they can just solve this problem, the problem of division, the problem of segregation, the problem of racism, the problem of separation, the problem of oppression and suppression, the problem of superiority and inferiority, if this can be solved, we can enjoy this planet Earth as a beautiful thing. Unity is a powerful tool for humanity. If we, as all humans, can stand together, holding our hands together, then the number or statistics of people falling will be reduced. We all need somebody. The withdrawal of somebody in our lives leaves us with emptiness. There is a certain effect it leaves negatively to human being. Even if you compliment the loneliness by saying you are better alone, but you're only better for a short time. Human beings are created to dwell together. Hi friends, my name is Olumide Lewis and welcome to my program, Olumide Lewis and Friends. On this program, I'll be hosting other guests and we'll be discussing real life issues in the limelight of God. I believe God rules in the affairs of men, and we have many questions that are yet to be answered in our society today. So yes, on this program, hosting other friends, we'll be discussing real life issues from their own views as well as friends, and then insightfully, what is God saying about those things as we begin to dig into those matters to see it in the limelight of the already given answer that God has given to mankind to solve all this problem, apart from what man or whoever out there has given us an answer. I believe there's only one absolute answer, and that's the one that comes from the Creator to the creation. So it is very important that people should know that everyone on the face of the earth is one of their kind. There is no other person. Everyone on this face of the earth, they are one of their kind. Everyone. And all this, be it male, female, or animals and all that, we understand even from the Bible, from the book of Genesis, how creation come to play. Everything that God made, there is an intention for them. For human being especially, for people who have existed before now, and people existing now, and people that will exist thereafter, everyone that will pass through the face of this earth, God made them with the intent that there will be one of one. In other words, there is certain uniqueness to every individual. If you're one of your kind, then what is that saying? It means everything you have within you is particular to you. It's unique to you and you alone. For example, in the present day age we have, the population of the earth is said to be above 7 billion and still counting. So in other words, every one of the 7 billion people on the face of the earth, they are one of their kind with certain ability, gift, purpose assigned to everybody. Without a doubt. Because God is not an author of confusion. But this is the question. If God should make all of us one of a kind, and we're all sharing the same space called planet Earth together, how is this living going to be possible? That's the question. How, in a secular world, if an employer have more than one person as an employee, and once they start becoming 2, 3, 4, 5 and upwards, the essence of teamwork will be engraved into the work policy, for either from the HR or from whatever it is. They start teaching them teamwork. The training, every grooming they'll be giving them will be to learn to work together to achieve a common goal. Now, let's see the whole earth as a company, as an established, that have 7 billion people as an employee. What would be the concept? What should be the concept of this employer for these employees to work together to achieve same goal? 7 billion we're talking about. So what's the common factor? One of the many common factors that is related, that we have to share within ourselves to be able to work in unison, not in division. These are major questions that oftentimes have not been asked, or even others who believe that they have such insight. A lot of them have delivered the answer wrongly with a selfish intent. Now, I'm still digging. We're all still digging because we're still growing every day. But for now, it's a question that we should all look into and say, what is the common factor that needed to be seen among us? So that this all earth, doesn't matter your race or tribe, doesn't matter the part of the country you're existing from, that we all at least can begin to have a mindset that we are connected, that we are all dependent on each other. Regardless of one-on-one that we have, regardless of who we are as a person, do I see your place in my life? Do I see a place for myself in your life? How are we linked together? How are we connected? What are the factors that connect us? It's very important. For example, for an employee, doesn't matter how many of them they have, the fact that they know that they're working for the same employer, give them a sense of belonging together. It might be they might want to gossip about some things. They might meet at the car park and gossip. They might meet or call themselves after work and say some things. But at least when they call that person, they know the boundary of conversation they have to have, that, oh, I'm calling my work colleague. We're working for the same employer. They could either talk about the problem of what happened during the day or what happened during the work and say stuff like that together, and then they just share common sense. But at least that sense of belonging is there when that person calls you. And so this is my work mate calling me. So instantly you have understanding of what's the boundary of conversation. Okay, in the same way, when we see ourselves as individual, apart from marriage sector, some married people or in family sector, people have a sense of belonging within the family because they have a family name covering them. To say, okay, this is my person. When this person calls me, when I say this person, this is my cousin, this is my dad, this is my brother. At least you have a sense of guidance, of expectation within you and the person to talk. But outside your family circle, outside your friend zones, to the other person who's not your family member, to the other person who's not your friend or within your friend zone, who is that person to you? Who is that person to you? Oftentimes that's the problem. That's where, on a macro level, division begins to start. Which means if you know within my circle, if you know my family member, if you know my friend, or if you know my relatives, I will withdraw certain benefit from you because I don't know you. And it's okay. To a certain degree, you don't know the person, hence why you're withdrawing the benefit. But I believe if you know who the person is, you will extend your benefit to the person too. So if the person is not your family member, not your cousins, not your workmate, or within your friend zone, and they're human being like you, who is this person to you? How do we deal with these people? How do we address them? The society call them stranger. How do we deal with strangers? Strangers in the sense that they are not in your friend zone, they're not in your family zone. That doesn't mean they're not human being. Because you don't know them, make them a stranger. But are they not human beings? Don't they also have a purpose on earth while they are here? And how they are all or should be linked to you? So how are these questions answered in our society today? How are these questions answered? For example, abroad, people travel abroad as migrants, diasporans, so on and so forth. The moment they leave for abroad to a different place where, due to their culture or their color or their race, because most of these factors concerning them, they are not fitting in to where they are going, they suffer a lot of backlash. lashes, lot of racism, lot of pushback, lot of setback for them, even if their intent for going to that country is right. But because they don't belong, according to man factor, or you're not white, or you're not black, or you're not my tribe, or you this and that, automatically benefits are withdrawn from that person. Now, not just benefit, when that benefit is withdrawn or are withdrawn, what happens to the destiny of that person? What happened to the purpose of that person at that time when they will be dealing with the obstacles of your differences that you are projecting to them or that you begin to advocate within yourselves? These are general questions that's human we need to reflect on all the time. And I know the psychologists and also other social experiment or faculty of life are trying to address this, or are still trying. They're still trying to just put this together to give a perfect answer, because it's a major concern. Even politicians, pastors, the leaders of our society, if they can just solve this problem, the problem of division, the problem of segregation, the problem of racism, the problem of separation, the problem of oppression and suppression, the problem of superiority and inferiority, if this can be solved on earth, we can enjoy this planet Earth as a beautiful thing, beautiful creation that God has created for mankind to exist. Knowing that there are many planets that God has made, in fact, many galaxies out there. But so far for now, this is only one we know that human beings are still dwelling in. This is the only one we know. We have evidence that human beings that have blood running through them are still dwelling in. But unfortunately, looking at the time of life, like we understand from what we see from the news, instead of oneness and togetherness, what we see is war here, war there, bomb there, bomb there, policy today, policy tomorrow. And at the end of all this policy, it's about separation, not unity. It's about go back to where you come from, not it's okay to dwell here because you're a human being. It's about you being an alien, politically being used lately, not about welcome, what you have to eat and drink. No welcome, none is welcome anymore. What we express most of the time happens to be pushed back, no matter where we go, either locally or internationally, as human beings globally, except if you have what it takes of the person's interest, and they can open their door to you, either by qualification or professionality, and they feel you can add to them. So by factor, some will say, if you cannot add to me, we don't need you. But the fact is this: everyone on earth, made by God, have a sense of purpose inside them, only if you can allow them to do it. Everyone has got something. We are so unique and powerful that we are made after the image of God, with a sense of purpose given to us, with ability, with gifts, with a skill set, with power, both physical and spiritual, that we are enabled with naturally by God as a creator, as a creation, from creation, made as human beings. But unfortunately, either by human ignorance or these differences we're talking about, keeps putting us away to do the things that God has put us here to do. Whereas God said, 2 is better than 1, and 3 is a cord unbroken. To find 2 standing as 1 today, it's a major problem. Even when 2 are standing as 1, they're only standing as 1 for a short time. How much more nations? How many nations are standing together? They only stand with you for the common interest to share at that time. And if there's no common interest, they're not standing with you. Even if people feel it's okay to stand alone, from the creator of the creation, its intention is never for us to stand alone. It's to stand together. Psalm 133 did advise that it's a beautiful thing when people stand together in unity. It is in the place of unity that God commands His blessing, according to Psalm 133. Even in the Bible, the book of Acts, it is when they stood together in one accord, whatever God has in mind for them could not come to manifestation, even if they have the promise, until they're able to stand together in one accord. My brothers and sisters, unity is a powerful tool for human. Unity is a powerful tool for humanity. If we, as all human, can stand together, holding our hands together, then the number or statistics of people falling will be reduced. They will have sisters, brothers, nation, tribe, culture to lean on when they are falling, to help them to stand. They are simple things. They are simple English. They are simple reasoning, but they have a powerful effect to humanity. Everyone needs someone. We all need somebody. The withdrawal of somebody in our lives leaves us with emptiness. There is a certain effect it leaves negatively to human being. Even if you compliment the loneliness by saying you are better alone, but you're only better for a short time. Human beings are created to dwell together. Let me bring this home. Why am I saying all those things? This is for us to know that the one that created us, that has placed us here, has not made any mistake. Never made any mistake. He did not only created us to put us here and just make us to be figuring out the way we want to do it. That's why he said through Daniel, he made Daniel to know that as many kingdoms that will be established on the face of the earth, as many nations that will spring forth on the nation of the earth, he gave an assurance to Daniel to let us know that him, God Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth, rules in the affairs of men. God rules in the affairs of men. He rules for a purpose, so that we as human beings, in the first place, we're not going to be alone here to figure this out, to figure this planet out on our own. Even if he has given us certain ability and free will, he is still there to walk with us, to let us know that we're not alone, and whatever things we try to figure out, whatever answer we're looking for, him, the creator, is available to give us every answer. Like Jesus told the disciple when he was leaving, he told them, I will not leave you nor forsake you. He said, even I'm going now, I will leave with you a comforter that will be with you to teach you all things and bring you to all truth. Because we cannot do it all alone. We cannot do it all alone. When we know we're not alone, that God is with us. And when every other brethren that we see, regardless of their tribe, nations, or language, when they see you and they know they're not alone, there's a sense of belonging. There's a sense of hope. There's a sense of revival that brings. Naturally, it's an instinct. This is one of the reasons why programs like this have to be heard. This is one of the reasons why even talking like this is very important, so that whosoever is listening to me can know that they're not alone. That with this program, they're not alone. That God is with them. You cannot see it. You might not see his face, but you can feel him if you open your heart to know that you're not alone. Over and over and over again from histories, reading the scriptures, we have seen how people, desolated, people in their tribulations and calamity, even when they thought they were alone, to the Shunammite woman, to Daniel, to Joseph, to many more, to Paul and Silas, to many more, to the widows, to the woman with issues of blood, to the lame, to as many as we can list of different categories of society of life of that represent one thing or the other that we can be struggling with. Jesus came to let us know that we're not alone. Hence, why one of his name is called Emmanuel, meaning God with us. But if you don't open your mind and renew your mind in every situation that God is with you, there's a tendency that the way you're going to behave or respond to that situation will be different when you know that God is with you and when you don't know that God is with you. When you know that God is with you, there will be hope to the fact that you're not alone. So the thought of depression, the thought of suicide, the thought of all these negative things, the thought of stealing, the thought of killing, the thought of outsmarting anyone will be reduced when what you see, all you think is you're alone in this. Immediately what happens is hope will be gone. You won't see a way out. Desperation will set in. To just shut everything down will be the only thing you'll be thinking most of the time. And so people just take their own life or do things contrary to the way the society has designed humans to respond to certain situations, or probably a lot would depend on medications to survive their life. My brothers and sisters, friends and listeners, this is to let you know that you're not alone, that God is with you. He rules and reigns in that affairs that you're going through. Not just to be there to mock you, but to be there to create what has been missing in that situation. Don't forget, He remains and He is still forever a creator. Hence why He said, and He still keeps saying, that He will make way where there is no way. Hence what He said, and He's still saying, is there anything too difficult for Him to do? Hence what He said, and He's still saying, with man it is impossible, but with God nothing shall be impossible. He said, and to them that believe. God is there to lift our burdens. He said, come unto me, those who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. He said, call unto me, and I will answer you, and I will hear from heaven. This is one of the things, many things, that God has said to us, to let us know that He's not just with us, to mock us like others will mock us, that He's with us, to walk with us, and walk through us. But if we don't herald this statement to the next person and to the next person to us, that we are not alone, that God is with us, to give hope and to make hope start rising, oftentimes what we're meant to be to each other, or what that situation we're going through is meant to be, might turn out to be all the way around. But the good news is, if you're listening this day, the good news is, it's not too late to believe, if you're listening now, that God is with you. As a matter of fact, it is the reason why this is coming to your way. It is the reason why you are flipped to this day, to this program, to this slot. It's for God to let you know you're not alone, so that you can turn to Him in your own ways, because He rules in the affairs of men. And with Him, nothing is too hard for Him to do. That thing that is hard for you is not hard for God. That thing that is difficult for you is not difficult for God. That same person that you look around you, that you think it's not there for any purpose in your life, that same stranger that you see, that person that you think is a stranger to you, you never can tell how and in which way God will use that person for you or for that situation you're going through. Hence why He said we should be careful how our attitude towards a stranger, that we should be kind and receive them with grace, because He said peradventure in doing so we might receive an angel to our bosom. Because you never can just tell in which way God will move while He's with us. He said, like the heavens is far from the earth, like the east is far from the west, so are the ways of God far from our ways. So the things that you think it cannot be, that might be the only thing that God delights, that through it things can be. And God moves through anything. But it is only when it is the absential of human that God will choose to raise all the things to do His glory. In other words, God prefers to walk and do His wonders through human. What am I saying? Through that brothers that sisters, that neighbor, that friend, that your workmate, that person that looks so hard to you. When you open your mind and your mind is renewed, there is no tell to how your world will begins to become beautiful. How your world, that situation, will begins to become a new ground of hope for you. This is very important, that we come to an understanding that we are not alone in this universe. The creator of the earth didn't put us all out here to figure it out on our own. Even if he has given us wisdom, he is still with us to help us figure it out as he works with us daily in all we do. Hence, in conclusion, why he said, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding, that in all your ways you should acknowledge him. So thank you, friends, for watching this episode, and I hope it meets you well. Again, don't forget to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button and click the notification button as well, so you get to know when a new episode drops. Again, till we meet next time, don't forget that God rules in the affairs of men. Stay blessed.